The wheel turns. Summer fades. The days grow shorter, the nights longer. Leaves begin their slow transformation into fire-colored shades of gold, crimson, and amber. Fields once full of life are harvested, their bounty gathered and stored before winter arrives. This moment, suspended between abundance and decline, is one of balance. Light and darkness stand equal into the sky. Day and night share the world for just a brief moment. Across ancient Europe, this turning point was celebrated as a harvest festival, a time to give thanks for the earth's gifts, a time to prepare for the coming cold, and a time to honor the delicate balance between life and death. In modern witchcraft and pagan traditions, this sacred moment is known as Mabon. Tonight, we'll explore the Autumn Equinox Sabbath, its symbolism, its traditions, and the spiritual meaning behind one of the most beautiful turning points in the wheel of the year. Welcome back, witches and wanderers, to the Morbid Witch Podcast. I'm your host, Kari. Tonight's episode steps away from creatures and legends of fear and mystery, and instead focuses on one of the sacred seasonal festivals celebrated in modern, pagan, and witchcraft traditions. Mabon is the Autumn Equinox Sabbath, a celebration of the second harvest and a moment of equilibrium between light and dark. It falls around September 21st to the 23rd in the Northern Hemisphere, when day and night become equal in length before the darkness of winter slowly begins to dominate the sky. For many witches and pagans, Mabon represents gratitude, reflection, and balance. It is a time to acknowledge the fruits of one's labor, both literal and spiritual, while preparing for the introspective season that lies ahead. Although the name Mabon is relatively modern with neo-pagan traditions, the celebration itself draws inspiration from ancient harvest festivals observed across Europe for thousands of years. And like many Sabbats on the wheel of the year, Mabon blends folklore, mythology, seasonal symbolism, and ritual practice into a powerful spiritual celebration. Tonight, we'll explore the many aspects of this Sabbath, its names, traditions, sacred symbols, deities, rituals, and the foods and herbs that bring the spirit of the harvest to life. Although many modern witches refer to the autumn equinox simply as Mabon, the celebration has been known by many other names throughout history. In English folk traditions, the feast was often called Harvest Home, marking the completion of the grain harvest and the gathering of crops before winter. Another traditional name is the Feast of the Ingathering, emphasizing the act of bringing in the harvest and storing food for the colder months ahead. In Irish tradition, the equinox is associated with Main Fomhuea, meaning middle of the harvest, reflecting the agricultural significance of this time of year. The celebration has also been referred to as An Closure, an Irish term associated with the closing of the harvest season. In Druidic traditions, the autumn equinox is known as Albin Ephid, which translates roughly to light of the water. This name reflects the balance between light and darkness as the sun crosses the celestial equator. While the name Mabon itself was adopted in the 20th century within modern paganism, the spirit of the celebration stretches far deeper into ancient seasonal traditions. Regardless of the name used, the meaning remains the same: a moment of gratitude, balance, and preparation for the darker half of the year. Mabon is a Sabbath rich in symbolism, drawing heavily from the natural world and the harvest season. The most powerful symbol of the Autumn Equinox is balance. On this day, light and darkness are equal, representing harmony between opposing forces. For witches, this moment offers a chance to reflect on the balance within their own lives. Work and rest, light and shadow, growth and release. Colors associated with Mabon reflect the changing landscape of autumn. Deep reds, burnt oranges, gold, brown, and dark greens dominate seasonal decorations and ritual tools. These colors mirror the falling leaves, ripening crops, and earthy tones of the harvest season. Common symbols of Mabon include cornucopias, autumn leaves, acorns, grapes, pumpkins, apples, and baskets overflowing with harvested crops. These items symbolize abundance, gratitude, and the rewards of hard work. But Mabon is not simply about celebrating abundance. It is also about acknowledging that the cycle of growth is ending. The earth prepares for rest, and so too should we. Many deities connected to agriculture, fertility, and seasonal cycles are honored during the Mabon Sabbath. These figures represent the life-giving forces that sustain crops, animals, and human communities. Among the most commonly associated deities is Demeter, the Greek goddess of agriculture and grain. Her myth reflects the seasonal cycle of growth and dormancy. Her daughter, Persephone, is also central to the autumn equinox. According to myth, this is the time when Persephone begins her descent into the underworld, bringing the fertile season to an end. Another harvest-associated figure is Dionysus, the god of wine, celebration, and the grape harvest. His Roman counterpart, Bacchus, represents similar themes of abundance and revelry. Agricultural fertility is also represented by Ceres, the Roman equivalent of Demeter. Beyond Greco-Roman mythology, other deities are honored as well. The Celtic horse goddess Epona symbolizes fertility and protection of livestock. The mysterious green man represents the life force of nature itself, embodying the cycle of growth, death, and rebirth. From Norse mythology, the thunder god Thor is sometimes honored for his role in protecting crops and communities. Meanwhile, Thoth represents knowledge, balance, and cosmic order, themes closely tied to the equinox. Finally, the Muses may also be invoked, celebrating creativity and reflection during this contemplative season. Crystals associated with Mabon often reflect the colors and energies of the harvest season. One of the most common crystals used during the Sabbath is amethyst, a stone known for spiritual awareness and inner balance. Another is carnelian, a vibrant orange stone associated with vitality, courage, and creative energy. Yellow agate represents grounding and stability, making it ideal for rituals focused on gratitude and reflection. Meanwhile, yellow topaz symbolizes abundance and prosperity, aligning perfectly with the themes of harvest and reward. These crystals may be used in altar decorations, meditation practices, or ritual work during the equinox. Herbs used during Mabon rituals often come directly from the harvest itself. Grains such as barley and wheat represent nourishment and prosperity. Plants like hazel and oak symbolize wisdom and strength. Fragrant herbs such as sage and honeysuckle are often burned during rituals for purification and spiritual connection. Other herbs associated with Mabon include hops, marigold, milkweed, mums, passionflower, pine, sassafras, and tobacco. Each of these plants carries symbolic meanings tied to harvest, protection, or transformation. Scents play an important role in seasonal rituals. Incense used during Mabon typically reflects warm, spicy, and earthy aromas. Common incense ingredients include apple blossom, black pepper, cinnamon, clove, honeysuckle, myrrh, patchouli, pine, and sweetgrass. These fragrances evoke the warmth of autumn and the richness of the harvest season. Burning incense during rituals helps create an atmosphere of reflection, gratitude, and spiritual focus. Perhaps the most joyful part of the Mabon Sabbath is the feast. Food plays a central role in harvest celebrations, representing the abundance provided by the earth. Traditional foods associated with Mabon include apples, barley, beans, bread, carrots, corn and cornbread, eggplant, grapes, nuts, onions, potatoes, pumpkins, and squash. Seasonal fruits and vegetables harvested locally are especially meaningful. Drinks associated with the Sabbath include ale, apple cider, mead, and wine. Hearty dishes featuring lamb or goose may also be served as part of a harvest feast. Sharing food with friends, family, or a spiritual community is one of the most meaningful ways to celebrate the Sabbath. There are many ways witches celebrate Mabon. Some create harvest altars, decorated with apples, pumpkins, leaves, and candles in autumn colors. Others perform gratitude rituals, offering thanks to the earth and the spirits of nature. Common Mabon activities include harvest feasts, nature walks, apple picking, winemaking, cooking seasonal foods, meditation, and reflection. Many witches also spend time journaling about the harvest of their personal lives, acknowledging achievements, lessons learned, and goals for the coming winter. At its heart, Mabon is about balance and gratitude. It reminds us that life moves in cycles. Growth leads to harvest. Harvest leads to rest. And rest prepares the world for renewal. Just as farmers gather crops before winter, Mabon encourages us to gather the wisdom, lessons, and experiences of the year so far. It is a moment to pause, give thanks, and prepare for the introspective months ahead. Thank you for listening to the Morbid Witch Podcast. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, you can listen to the show on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, like the episode, and leave a comment. And if you're listening on Spotify, please consider leaving a rating for the show. Until next time, stay strange, stay spooky, and remember, the shadows are always watching.